Thank you, Mr. Williams, for your introduction. Uh, I think the general public is getting your message loud and clear. Uh, Good afternoon, all, and thank you for listening by all means. This afternoon, I want to bring to your attention what we have done in terms of the national response to the La Soufrière eruption in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But most importantly, I'm happy for the special guest that is going to be joining us today to give an update. To date, St. Kitts and Nevis has contributed 5 containers of relief supplies to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 2 40-foot containers and 3 20-foot containers, and 2 of the 3 20-foot containers would have come from the island of Nevis. Those 5 containers, would have amounted to approximately $280,000 worth of relief supplies. I also wish to inform you that we are in the process of negotiating one 40-foot container to be sent to St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the upcoming days. As soon as we have finalized the terms and conditions of agreement for sending this container, we will communicate with the general public for those who may have some relief items to send to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I also wish to notify the general public by this means that persons who are within the 9-day category for quarantine at the OTI, again, I repeat, at the Ocean Terrace Inn, will now pay $320 for the duration of the 9-day stay. Again, I advise persons going to the Ocean Terrace Inn, that's the OTI in quarantine facility, they will now pay $320 for the 9 days of quarantine. Please be guided. There was a viral video that was being shown by some persons who would have hiked to the crater at Mount Lyamiga. Again, I want to reemphasize the St. Kitts and Nevis preparedness measures when it comes to any potential volcanic hazard. Therefore, with this presentation, I will provide you with some background, and then we will have the director of the UE Seismic Research Center joining us live from Trinidad this afternoon. Right, so Mount Lyamiga, as we call it, the crater, where persons use it for leisure and pleasure, hiking, and also descending down into the crater as a means of pleasure. Mount Lyamiga, as we know it, Mount Misery, is the only live volcano in St. Kitts. Again, the volcano is dormant but alive. According to the history, the most recent major eruption would have occurred 1,600 years ago. However, the historians have also indicated that it is possible that two eruptions would have occurred in 1962 and 1843. Now, the continuous hot springs activity and occasional bursts of shallow earthquakes directly beneath the volcano means that the volcano is still alive. And this information is based on the assessment that was done by the UE Seismic Research Center. On Nevis, there is an existing volcano in Nevis. The entire island of Nevis is a single volcano, with Nevis Peak being the main volcanic center. There have been no recent sign of increased volcanic activity on Nevis. However, frequent shallow earthquake swarms, meaning a series of earthquakes, and the existence of hot springs activity associated with Nevis Peak indicates that the volcano is alive and can erupt in the future. Now, volcanoes have geothermal activities associated with them, and we do enjoy some of these geothermal features associated with volcanoes. And Nevis, we have two local geothermal activities in that of Cades Bay Soufriere and Farm Estate Soufriere, which you will see minor fumarolic activities. In addition, there are areas that are pervasively hydrothermally altered rock present through the island. For example, Clark's Gut and Nevis. Also presently in Nevis, you will see a number of hot springs, and though the hottest being those at Bath Estate and at Cades Bay Beach. Currently, geothermal activity is largely concentrated on the western half of the island, and we are speaking about Nevis. Now, how do we prepare? Is St. Kitts prepared? Let's speak about the hazard mapping and the disaster preparedness for any potential volcanic hazard. The Seismic Research Center scientists provided advice as well as producing maps and other public information material to enable the general public and the national authorities to better prepare for future volcanic eruption. Being prepared for these events can considerably reduce the risk posed to you and your families, what we usually say, lives and livelihoods. Now, this is an image of the volcanic hazard map. You will see you have the orange color, which indicates the very high risks. So you need to become familiar with the area in which you live and see whether you fall in that category. Then we have the orange, or well, basically here it looks more brown, mustard-like color. And this is the high-risk area as well, where there's a likelihood for heavy ashfall. Then we have the medium-risk areas, which is identified in the yellow. And this area is likely to produce frequent and significant asphalt. And then we have the lowest hazard area, what we call the low-risk area, and that is the southern part of St. Kitts and Nevis, halfway between Bastia to the Southeast Peninsula. So those are the classifications of the color coding for St. Kitts and Nevis. For example, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you hear about the red zones, persons who are in the red zones, the orange zones, etc. This is the same process that is being applied to St. Kitts and Nevis. However, on Nevis has two color codes because of the build of the way Nevis is built. The Nevis has orange, sorry, it should be red and orange, meaning that if there's any eruption on Nevis, the entire of Nevis has to be evacuated. Right. So, hazard mapping and disaster preparedness, it's important for you to know, do not wait. Do not wait for an eruption to occur to start thinking about preparedness. I just indicated to you the different risk levels that are associated with the various areas in St. Kitts and Nevis. So don't wait, prepare. Know where Mount Lyamiga and Nevis Peak is in relation to where you live. Know what to do if an eruption occurs. And a volcanic eruption may happen in your lifetime. Now, how do we know if something is going to happen? We have volcanoes. Volcanoes don't usually erupt suddenly without warning. They are normally preceded by clear signals which one recognizes and enables timely warnings to be issued. For example, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I will leave that for our colleagues in UWI Seismic Research Center to bring it to your attention this afternoon, but there was a swarm of earthquakes that indicated that movement of the magma. Now, we are monitoring the crater, well, the volcano at Mount Layamigo. And this is, the monitoring of this is done through a number of monitoring systems and sensors that we have around St. Kitts and Nevis. So what will happen is that if there's any challenges or any risk or hazard that the volcano is going to pose on St. Kitts and Nevis, we will have an increase in the number of shallow earthquakes beneath or near the volcano. 2, the swelling of the flanks or slopes of the volcano, they will start to swell. And we saw that La Soufrière actually developed another crater. Changes in the chemistry of the gases and hot springs associated with the volcano. So these are 3 critical things that we will see. Now, the UE seismic research centers, what they have is they have GPSs, what we call global positioning systems, that will measure, that will take measurements and track the ground deformation, the swelling or deflating of the volcano flanks. And also, the chemical composition of hot springs and gases is also monitored through time, as changes in chemical properties may indicate a change in the volcanic activity. With that said, I have provided you with some information due to some activities, well, the viral video that was going around, and now I will have Mr. Williams introduce our colleagues from the UE Seismic Research Center.